Hello. The topic that we'll discuss today is exchange control. Before I discuss exchange control, I would like to take you to the international trade market scenario. Assume that there are two countries that are operating in the international trade market. These two countries decided to trade, but how will the trade take place if these two countries are operating on two separate currencies? The solution lies in establishing an exchange rate that will tell us how the currency of these two countries is supposed to be exchanged, right? Now, how is this exchange rate determined? This exchange rate is determined by the demand and supply forces of these currencies, right? What is the demand scenario? What is the supply scenario? That will determine what the ultimate exchange rate is, right? So, given that demand and supply conditions are deciding the exchange rate is now susceptible to volatility, right? Because it may fluctuate, it may become very high, it may become very low depending on the demand and supply conditions. Now, because governments have certain objectives to meet, it cannot rely on market forces to determine exchange rate. Hence, they decide to enter the market scenario, they decide to intervene in the foreign exchange market. They try to impose certain restrictions on buying and selling of foreign exchange. Control for the very first time was done by Germany after the First World War. Their exchange rate had immensely deteriorated and they tried to stabilize their exchange rate with the help of exchange control. Similarly, after a few years, when European countries abandoned gold standard, they shifted to paper currency. European countries also witnessed a fluctuating exchange rate, and to deal with that, they also introduced exchange control. Similarly, after Second World War, almost all countries across globe noticed a fluctuating exchange rate. To deal with that, they tried to impose certain restrictions. They tried to participate in the foreign exchange markets, right? So ultimately, now when we look at the scenario, almost every country has certain form of exchange control working in their country.